Sino di-defend ng DBA? Sino di-defend?
Ah, talaga? Sino?
case against him, yung asking Ukraine to help him. Ah, in the Philippines, would that be impeachable? Hindi, di ba? Oo, kaya nga eh. Kaya ako medyo nag-ano ko, sabi ko, noise lang, noise. Oo. Hindi nila makuha, Republic nga yun eh. No, I'm saying if that case happened in the Philippines.
Sakto.
Late ako natapos. Sorry, boss. Hindi naman. Buti hindi ako nanood. Kaya, ng live. Ready to resume, Mr. President.
Session is resumed.
Mr. President, may we consider, rather, Mr. President, I still haven't had my coffee. May we consider the budget of the Department of Public Works and Highways and recognize the sponsor, Senator
Alright.
Sani Angara, and to interpolate our dear colleague from Cavite, Senator Panfilo Pinglax.
All right, hearing no objection, we now tackle the budget of the Department of Public Works and Highways and recognize Senator Sani Angara as a sponsor and to interpolate Senator Ping Lacson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday, House Deputy Speaker El Rey Villapuerte claimed in a television interview that a 500 million peso appropriation for a project vaguely described as Cannon Road, plain and simple, Cannon Road, was a case of typo error. Later in the day, he corrected himself and said he was actually referring to a 15 million peso project or project request actually in Cagayan province. Mr. President, how could he even know that? No. Those items are originally found in the National Expenditure Program, submitted by Malacanang to Congress after the President's SONA in July, adopted by the House, and transmitted to us here in the Senate. The national budget, Mr. President, is not a guessing game. It can never be guesswork. It is to be studied painstakingly, scrutinized diligently. It takes a lot of hard work and even passion on our part and on the part of our staff to before we can even understand what the national budget is all about. Having said that, will the distinguished sponsor yield to some very easy questions, Mr. President?
I hope so because the gentleman from Cavite knows the DPWH budget better than this representation, Your Honor.
Yung first topic is konting pangungumusta lang, Mr. President, kasi we raised certain issues during the last budget hearing or even hearings. Yung una, yung Sariaya Bypass Road, yung case study, na-suspend dito. Gusto lang malaman namin dito sa Senate, ano na yung status? Was the suspension lifted already? Has civil works resumed? Or abandoned na yung project? $400 million to din. Si Louis, 400. This is a 400 million peso project. So gusto lang malaman kung ano yung status.
It's no longer suspended, it's ongoing, Your Honor.
Oh, thank
and
you.
according to the Secretary, it will be completed in the first quarter of next year.
Next year. Thank you very much. Thank you for the information. Another project, yung road widening, primary roads or Mokbaybay, Southern Leyte, boundary roads, including ROW, 200 million pesos. See, based on the 11 December 2018 report submitted by DPWH, ang target accomplishment for 2018, 18.09%. No? We exceeding actual physical accomplishment at 27.65. So we just would like to find out ano na nangyari ulit.
We're finding
Kasi
out,
may mga ROW issues kung settled na finally. I understand most of the claimants were already paid kasi covered ng homestead patent. Pero mukhang marami na nabayaran dito.
The project is ongoing, Your Honor.
Ongoing.
Ongoing
And
po, opo.
kailan kaya makakompleto?
forward mo na lang para kahit when, most likely. Second half, first half? In the second half of 2020, Your
Second
Honor.
half. Thank you. Thank you for the information.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We'll just run this very quickly. Yung 10 million, never mind. Anyway, it's shown naman on the screen. Paki-take note na lang, so we'll just await the submission of the report kung ano yung...
On this, you want a
Yeah.
submission on these projects, Your Honor?
Yeah, on
specifically?
this project,
We will-
because just to let them know that we don't easily forget, Mr. President.
Yes, Your Honor. We will ask the Secretary and the Department to furnish us reports on these specific projects you asked for, Your
Ito
Honor.
rin yung bypass and diversion roads in Cagayan de Oro, 374 million. There's another project, 200 million, yung Junction Maramag, Maradugaw Road, Junction, Lampanusan Road Extension. Sa Bukidnon. Oh. Kumusta na po yung... maganda.
Road ba yan? Road? So may bahay sa gitna ng kalsada.
How about the issues raised during the last hearing?
Anong plano?
Andito pala yung RD ng 10.
So your negotiation. Your Honor, regarding the Cagayan de Oro project, which is in the neck of the woods of our good majority leader, okay na daw yung project, except there is one house that they have paid for the land,
Yeah.
but the house, they're under negotiation for the price of the house, Your Honor. Yun na lang po.
So isa na lang
Isang
yung
bahay na lang
kailangan.
daw ho.
Okay.
Oho. Yung sa Maramag, we're inquiring now.
All right. Yung Batangas City, San Pascual, Bawan Road, including ROW. Ito ba yung nabayaran ng kalate? Parang nandun pa rin yata yung bahay kasi nabayaran ng kalate, which is well within your...
Ito po sa
Regulation, di ba?
Batangas. We're inquiring ho. Sir, Mr.
Para lang matanggal na yung
Your
bahay.
Honor, if it's all right with you, could you give us the list of projects so ngayon pa
Yeah,
lang
we will.
hingin natin sa
provide.
kanila?
We'll provide. Para lang... Okay.
Sa Maramag. Sa Maramag. Settled na yan. So what's going to happen? Gagawin yung project. Anong status ng project? Ongoing construction? Anong likely date of completion? Mahaba yung sagot. Kailan matatapos? Ang galing na estudyante to. Ikot niya yung sagot. February 2020. For the Batangas, Your Honor, they said the right-of-way issue on the house has been settled. And around February, that funded portion will be completed, Your Honor.
Yeah, thank you. Again. So much for that. Let's proceed to the next topic. Yung regional allocation, central office versus regional. We discussed this during the committee hearing,
Yes, Your
actually.
Honor.
No, yung 65.5 against 34.5. Yung central office saka yung regional allocation. Ang issue rito kasi yung iyaw, the issue of iyaw. Kasi pagka central office, 3.5 yung iyaw. Pag regional, 2.5. And then pagka district level, 2%.
Babaguhin ba? Or you want to justify the existing? Which is that? Case. Di ba ginagamit niyo yun for your ano? Ano ba yun? But you have a purpose that's unique to you as against the region. How do you justify it? Kasi sinasabi niya, makakatipid ang gobyerno pag nilipat sa region. Oo. Your Honor, apparently they find it useful for the central office to augment their existing MOE. Although a bulk of it also goes down to the regions, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's exactly the same issue that I raised, ano, kasi merong discrepancy eh. 3.5, 2.5, and 2%.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, ang reason na sinabi, I think it was ASEC Palafox who, yeah. Ang sabi po ninyo, anak po ba kayo ni June? Hindi, okay. Ang sabi po kasi ninyo noon, dina-download din naman. Di ba? It's being downloaded anyway. So, you might as well lodge it in the central office para na monitor ninyo. Do you not regularly monitor the performance of your district offices? Kailangan pa bang hawakan nyo yung pondo and then hindi ida-download pa rin pero yung IAW, Engineering Administrative Overhead, naka-retain sa central office. May COA issue po dyan eh. Kasi ito, COA observation do sa IAW. Unrelated expenses charged against engineering and administrative overhead, IAW, 106 million. Ang sinabi ng COA, various expenditures with aggregate amount of 106,605,643 pesos and 60 centavos, which are not directly related to the pre-construction and implementation of the projects, were charged against IAW funds contrary to the special provision number 13 of the GAA of 2018. So, bawal po eh, hindi pwedeng gamitin. Hindi pwedeng pang-augment ng MOE sa central office. Okay lang if it serves the purpose of augmenting the MOE. Pero kung hindi naman, makatipid na lang yung gobyerno ng a few hundred million pesos, hundreds of millions of pesos. Kung i-download na lang natin o i-allocate na lang yung pondo sa regional or district para makatipid do sa IAW. Kasi malaki rin difference when we talk of hundreds of millions of pesos worth of projects or even billions. Papalo rin ito ng nasa 100 milyon na IAW na sana masasave. Anyway, nilakihan nyo na yung authority, di ba? 100 million for district engineer.
They're willing to study
Yes.
your suggestion, Your Honor, and they also They also told me they're working with COA as to how to
Yeah.
improve that in respect to that finding.
Kasi
Your
kung
Honor.
para ma-monitor lang yung district engineering offices, siguro continuous naman din. Regularly, you can monitor who can deliver and who cannot deliver. And para pag-download, distribution ng funds,
Sinong magagaling gumamit?
sino
po?
magaling gumamit.
Tama.
Yun na lang mga hindi, yung mga laggards, yun na lang ang bantayan siguro, i-closely monitor or i-keep nyo yung pondo so they can be closely monitored. Pero not on a scale of, good morning ma'am.
Morning, Senator Villar. Yes, it's a good suggestion, Your Honor.
Now, we go now to the issue raised by Deputy Speaker for Finance, Villaperte. Cannon Road, no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Kindly
When you
explain-
raised that, I asked them to
Yeah,
prepare
kindly
something
explain
already. Yeah.
bakit yung description nito, Cannon Road lang, 507 million pesos.
Well, they're not sure why it was
Yun nga
probably
eh.
an oversight on their part, but
That-
now
that-
they have broken it down, Your Honor.
This was an issue raised by Senator Drilon, yung unused appropriations. And I don't, I don't blame DPWH for this. Alam naman natin yung reality sa ground, especially reality sa Congress, the Senate included, na may mga projects dyan na hindi nyo talaga alam.
I see. Okay.
Ang problema, kung hindi nyo alam kung paano napasok yung project sa NEP, dahil submissions ito ng legislators, how can you efficiently implement? Yun ang problema. Kayo yun naman yung nasisisi pag malaki yung unused appropriations. So,
I think they're telling me now, Your Honor, that at the time when the NEP was prepared, it was not really validated. So now it has undergone validation, and these are the
So,
They
meron
can-
ng stationing. Ang problema rito,
Meron
wala,
po, meron
very
po.
vague eh.
it is they're
Stay-
submitting it for the errata, and it's I can see it broken down here. We'll submit to Your Honor.
Yes. Okay. Kasi, ang worry ko dito, 507 million pesos for Cannon Road. There's another 76 million pesos
That's right.
for Cannon Road, pero may stationing. So baka maulit yung tinake up natin sa committee hearing, yung overlapping. Baka naman yung 76 million, kasama na sa 507, eh merong double allocation or appropriation.
Your Honor,
Yun lang ang
thank you.
problema.
They thank you for pointing it out, actually, and I think the nation should be grateful to you because they have because of your observation, they have made it specific, Your Honor.
Yes, kasi kung covered na doon sa 507 million yung 76, alisin na lang natin yung 76.
Separate. Magkaiba daw ho.
Magkaiba. Ibang
daw ho.
sections.
Magkaiba daw
Okay.
section. Opo.
So, pero baka pwede mag-submit lang sa committee, not necessarily sa akin, but to the Senate.
Yes, certainly.
Yung,
We will ask for that, Your Honor,
specifics,
along with the other reports you requested earlier. Yung earlier project. Updates lang.
May we know if there are RDC car endorsed projects na na-include sa NEP?
Yes, sir. Either just retrieving the data, but
Yeah.
meron daw ho.
Kasi as we discussed during the general principles deliberations, di ba 25% lang yung inadapt ng national government na submission ng RDC.
Yes, sir.
So, yon I also pointed out na kaya nagkakaroon ng disconnect do sa needs and priorities and the national budget itself kasi nga yung output na nanggagaling sa mga local development plans no, as submitted to the RDC, hindi naman ito nakikerry sa national government. And there is reason to believe na baka yung DPWH ganun din na kaya ang tanong ko, ilan yung nakerry? At least sa car muna.
Yes, Your Honor. I think for 2020, it's 20%, Your Honor. I think
For
that's the data.
2020?
20% ho ata.
20%?
Opo. But that's for nationwide ho.
Yeah,
for the whole
nationwide,
DPWH ho.
nationwide.
So,
Di ba masyadong mababa?
in comparison for the other agencies, medyo on the low side ho
Yeah.
siya. Because we have, as you brought up the topic, there are some who are reached as high as 100%, may 70%, may 60%. Yung DTI, mataas ho. Yung, where's that?
Yeah, as submitted by RDC, 614 million, ano. Pero yung na-provide lang sa ng budget sa
140
NEP,
po.
123. So 20% nga, tama. I'm sure,
Outside of the 20%.
yeah.
What they're saying, Your Honor, is that outside of the 20% which emanates from the RDC, for some of their projects, they also seek the RDC approval. So, kumbaga, na-reverse lang yung process. Kumbaga,
Before they proceed.
before they proceed.
Ang problema
Yes, Your
doon, it's
Honor.
already in the GAA.
Opo.
So, unused. Kung halimbawa,
Parang no
hindi po-
choice yung ano.
Hindi lang no choice. Halimbawa, hindi kailangan ng mga LGUs. Siyempre, yung RDC will also get the comments of the LGUs concerned. Kung hindi kailangan, mapupunta yan sa unutilized.
They said they get it before they proceed, Your Honor.
But it's already in the GAA. Di ba dapat
Before the GAA daw, sabi nila, Your Honor.
before the GAA? 20% nga lang ito eh. GAA na nga ipag-uusapan natin.
For their convergence program, it's required actually, Your Honor, sabi nila. If the RDC does not approve it, it will not be included in their
If we
convergence
can only,
program.
reverse yung
And
ratio.
increase the...
Increase.
Yeah.
Kung yung 80%
Perhaps-
yung galing sa RDC, 20% lang yung hindi.
Perhaps, Mr. President, we'll ask them for concrete proposals on how they plan to increase this percentage.
Alam ba, sa Aurora, Mr. President, siguro mas gusto nyo na nanggagaling doon sa
At saka
Aurora
madali
Province.
lang ho yun kasi walo
Yun
lang
nga,
ho yung bayan
yun-
eh.
Yeah.
There's only 150 barangays in Aurora.
Di ba
So
mas
it's,
maganda yung output
it can
ng
really-
local development plan ng Aurora Province na nanggaling sa mga municipalities, tapos itsanabit sa RDC,
Yes, Your Honor. In fact-
na-adapt ng national.
Yes. In fact, Your Honor, before I propose anything in the GAA, I'd like to disclose that I make sure that the locals approve of that
Yes.
project. I don't propose anything that they oppose, Your Honor. So
And that should be the correct procedure kasi
No.
kung ini-impose na lang natin from the national government to the local,
Yes, Your
baka may hindi pala nila kailangan yon.
that was actually also mentioned in the PDAF case, Your Honor, that
Yes.
there is some violation of local autonomy if
Local
there is
autonomy.
no consultation, Your Honor.
Local government code.
So we'll ask the DP to come up with maybe some concrete proposals as to how to raise this. But maybe they should furnish also the congressman with a list, Your Honor, of the
Yes.
RDC projects para alam rin nila ano ang
No,
ipropose.
ang procedure, di ba, the congressmen, they're also members of the local development councils eh. They can participate, doon sila makipagdebate. And then they will act, sila na lang yung mag-shepherd sa House na siguradong yung na-approve nila sa local development plans nila, hindi matatanggal. Di ba ganun dapat? Hindi naman sila nakikialam doon.
Opo.
Pagdating sa Congress, sila na lang basta namimili.
Ideally, in an ideal world, yes, Your Honor, you're correct. Opo.
But we can make the situation ideal.
We should move
eh.
towards that
Yes.
ideal world, Your Honor. I agree with you. We will ask the DPWH we'll try to go down to ground level and see where the improvements can be made, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Maybe giving listings to the congressmen what the RDC proposes.
Yes.
So,
Kasi talking of needs and priorities, sino ba mas nakakaalam? National or local? Siyempre local, di ba?
opo, pero ang I was a congressman once. It's kind of a semi-national, semi-local job din. Although yung ibang congressman hindi rin umuwi sa kanilang distrito. Pero in fairness, I would go home every other week, Your Honor.
Yes.
Kasi medyo mahaba yung biyahe. Pero may mga congressman every week nandun ho sa distrito. Merong congressman
Consultation.
in a week, halos every week nandun doon ho. So it's a case-to-case basis din ho.
So I just hope that we improve in that department. Ano?
We'll
Make some improvements.
we'll work with you and the DPWH for that. It's a very worthy goal, Your Honor.
Yeah. Another item that we discovered, yung rehabilitation, reconstruction, upgrading of damaged paved roads. Ang pangalan lang Manila North Road. Alam nyo, yung Manila North Road, ito yung MacArthur Highway officially known as Manila North Road.
Mahaba ho yun.
Haba nito, 500 kilometers eh. Saan sa Manila North Road yung project? There's 150 million peso worth of project, o pesos worth of project, Manila North Road, period. Ang haba po nito, mula Caloocan, mula do sa estatwa ni Bonifacio hanggang sa Ilocos Norte. Saan natin gagawin yung 150 million?
Saan ba nito? Kasi papunta ng ito eh. Papunta ng Nueva Ecija ito eh, di ba? Bulacan, Nueva Ecija ito eh. Saan kaya yan?
Which engineering district will implement?
Engineering district.
From Caloocan to Ilocos
It says
Norte.
Region 3. It's the regional office of Region 3, Your Honor. And now,
Region 3.
nilagyan na rin po ng nasa errata na raw. Manila North Road, kilometer 44 plus 500, to kilometer 48 plus 572, kilometer 50 plus 328, kilometer 50 plus 700. So nilagyan na ho nila. Thanks to your eagle
Pati
eyes, Your Honor.
station, yung station, meron na?
Opo.
Sige,
yun
thank
ang-
you. Paki...
We'll ask them to furnish you with
Yes, thank you.
the changes. Ho.
Another stretch, yung Jasa, Jose Abad Santos Avenue. Ang dami po nitong Jose Abad Santos Avenue. Saan po ito? 156.6 million pesos. Ang sinabi lang dito, Jose Abad Santos Avenue. Of course, nakita naman nasa Region 3. Pero tiningnan namin, ang daming Jose Abad Santos eh.
Your Honor,
Meron.
thank you for pointing this out.
Merong Olonga po, may Pampanga.
They have told us, they have told this representation, Your Honor, na lahat po ng walang stationing, linagyan na po nila. And they will furnish you a list ho. So, thank you for that service you performed.
By the way, as we proceed, no,
Sa bandang Gapan, San Fernando daw ho yun, yung section ho na yan.
yun nga yung tawag sa Jose Abad Santos, sabi nyo, Gapan, San Fernando, Olongapo Road. Yun yung Jose Abad Santos, actually. Pero mahaba pa rin eh.
Where is it? May station na daw ho.
I would just like to clarify, Mr. President, this is sponsor. Projects po tinitingnan namin, I really don't mind, and hindi ko naman tinatanong sino yung mga district representatives doon, just to be objective, ano. So, sinabi ko yun dahil ito, Quezon City, taga roon yung ating Senate President. total amount 276,711,000 pesos. Nakalagay lang dito, wala, Quezon City lang eh.
Maliit lang ho ang Quezon City.
Hindi,
Joke
pero
lang po, joke lang.
Various ano eh.
It's
Pag
probably the
sinabi
biggest
natin,
city
yeah,
in Metro Manila, Your
Hindi
Honor.
malaman na kung saan eh. And then, 315 million pesos, Taguig City. Very vague yung description. Various roads lang eh. Saan po ito?
Kasama na rin ho daw sa errata ho yun. In fact, yung earlier, can I get the earlier document? Yeah. Yung sa Gapan, sa JASA. So I can read it into the record.
Ilang pages yung
Yung JASA.
DPWH?
While they're retrieving the JASA, Your Honor, while we're retrieving the Quezon City information, yung JASA po na discussed earlier, ngayon may kilometer 69 plus 1,010 to kilometer 70 plus 331, kilometer 70 plus 357, to kilometer 71 plus 803.67.
Okay.
So, and so forth, Your
Yeah.
Honor.
So nasa errata.
Opo.
Ilang
opo.
pages po ba yung sa GAA yung ano, yung DPWH, yung portion nila?
It's over 100, close to 200, Your Honor. 160 or something like
Eh
that.
kung bawat project may errata, aabot tayo ng mga 1,000 pages sa DPWH.
Magpuputol lang ho na tayo ng puno ng konti.
Saka errata. 737 pages.
QC, if you can find it.
Ang point that I'm trying to raise here, Mr. President, is, di ba yung planning, dapat nauna yan? Bago pa sa NEP, nakaplano na tayo lahat. Identified na natin yung mga projects, kung saan, pinpointed. Kasi kung nasa GAA na, saka pa lang tayo magmo-modify, o kaya, of course, authorized naman kayo mag-modify, ano? Pero, reflective ng medyo may problema sa planning pag
The Secretary agrees with you that they
and
can, they can
I'm not
probably
blaming
do better. Your Honor.
the department. I know
You know the process. Your Honor.
I know kung saan yung problema. Maraming projects hindi talaga sa kanila, binigay lang sa kanila. Tama ba yon, Secretary?
Marami daw ho
Never mind,
talagang
no.
nagbibigay. Marami daw ho talagang nagbibigay.
Ng,
But they try to,
submission.
they really validate. That's
Yeah.
why sometimes some planning takes time, Your Honor.
Meron pa dito, 226.9 million construction, rehabilitation of various roads in Makati City. Saan po yung mga various roads in Makati City?
Tanong ho natin kay Senator Urbina. Just kidding.
Palagi ko, hindi rin alam ni Nancy ito. Meron din? O, so, errata rin yan? Errata. Ma-identify nyo kung saan yung various roads in Makati City.
Let's show it to you. Ito po yung errata nila. Ito po. Just for the record, I'm showing it to the body, Your Honor. It's very thick. So,
At least, nag-prepare sila ng mga errata before the interpellation.
well, I give full credit to the gentleman from Cavite, Your Honor, because if not for his eagle eyes, baka hindi na we would take these things for granted, Your Honor.
I'm suspecting na si Asek Molano, pag nagmi-meeting tungkol sa relocation natin, hinihingi na yung...
Baka dapat
Kaya nakarete
ganun,
na yung errata.
Mas maganda.
Pero okay din yun. That's lateral coordination in the works.
Opo.
Okay, another project, Region 1. Kalagay dito, an item, construction of bridges, Bintar, Ilocos Norte, 500,000 pesos. Anong klaseng tulay po yung papagawa natin? Bridges, ha? Hindi ito bridge. Construction ha? Hindi ito repair or rehabilitation. Of bridges, plural. 500,000 pesos. Ano po yung klaseng tulay ang may papagawa natin sa 500,000 pesos? Bridges, hindi lang isa. Pwede bang makakuha ng details ng project? Anong klaseng tulay? Baka meron kayong
These are usually project pagkaganyan. They're undergoing study, Your Honor. Tapos they will augment the item later. Ho.
Baka meron kayong perspective. Baka pwede maipakita kung ano yung tsura ng tulay.
Kailangan ng microscope. Ho. So, yeah, they said they will submit in the errata. That will
Okay,
be
thank
part
you.
of it, Your Honor.
Construction of roads, Bacara. Bacara, Ilocos Norte. 1,680,000 pesos. Construction of roads Balakad, Ilocos Norte, 500,000 pesos. Concreting of roads Urdaneta, Pangasinan, 10 million pesos. Walang identifying station limits, kaya ano. Nasa errata rin siguro yan. Lahat ng Ilocos Norte, baka...
They will identify, Your Honor.
I don't even know who the congressman or congresswoman is, now. Basta ito, titingnan lang namin, issues lang, hindi
Opo,
ano.
opo, opo.
I want to make myself clear kasi inaaway ko ng mga congressmen, Mr. President.
No, Your Honor, I think you're correct on principle, Your Honor.
Construction of roads, Pasukin, Ilocos Norte. Pidig, Ilocos Norte, 1,970,000, 1,580,000, 1,530,000, 1,980,000. Pasukin, Pidig, Sarat, Vintar. Wala pong iba ng details. Saan po ito? Yun din. Nasa errata rin siguro?
For validation or na-validation? Before we pass the GA, mabigay. Before we pass the GA, they will give us the details, Your Honor. Because according to them, according to the regional director, it's been validated.
Kaso po, nandito na tayo.
Oo nga po, oo nga po, medyo.
You know, I'm just trying to make light of the discussion.
It
pero
could be
these
better,
are
Your Honor.
Yeah, these are
It could be
serious
better,
matters,
Your Honor.
that we should correct, actually. Ito pa isa, concreting of roads at San Nicolas, Pangasinan with 12 million appropriations. Meron pang isang construction of roads San Nicolas, Pangasinan, 4 million. Ano po yun? Yung isa, concreting of roads San Nicolas. Yung isa, construction of roads San Nicolas.
According to them, the problem sometimes is that some local roads don't have station limits, Your Honor. It's only national roads which have station limits.
Walang mga kilometer posts? Meron pa bang walang kilometer post na lugar sa Pilipinas?
Lahat ng national roads meron, pero yung local hindi daw ho lahat meron.
Ay, yun nga ang problema.
You know, we have to find a way of identifying, Your Honor. Otherwise, it might be susceptible to fraud or to...
Yeah. Ito rin ang...
Yeah.
Ito rin ang isang issue, no, related to the 65%, 35%. Kung lahat ng local roads, i-download na lahat sa local, i-capacitate natin yung local, sila na magpagawa, mas madali nila makita. Tayo, hindi natin makita sa national.
That's something we can do when we implement the Mandanas ruling, Your Honor.
Yun
We
nga
can take away some budgets from the bigger agencies with the devolved, para mapilisan yung...
Yung mga devolved functions, ito na-discuss natin sa general principles, 182 billion pesos yung binigay, pero nasa national.
Yeah.
But ito yung devolved functions na pwede namang ibigay sa local.
In the future, I think...
well, yeah, nasa local, ano, pero ang IRA, hiningi ng Governors League when they visited us, di ba, 100 billion para pa konsuelo nila sa IRA. Pero hindi nila alam, meron silang 182 billion na para sa devolved functions nila.
Naka-lodge po sa national agency.
Hindi naman natin ma-convert, and we discussed it with Attorney Yoli. Kung i-convert na lang natin by way of legislation yung amount na sa mga devolved, hindi rin magagamit sa development kasi 20% lang ang pwede sa infra sa development, di ba? Kung unlike yung 180 billion, nakakalat na yun, mas malaki doon sa development.
That's correct. And minsan yung 20%, hindi lahat napupunta rin sa infra. Minsan personal services. Minsan.
Batan Island, circumferential road, two separate amounts.
Where's Batan?
7.5 million, yung isa naman 2.096 million. Ilan bang circumferential road sa Batan? Ang liit-liit ng barangay lang yun eh. There are two items, parehong circumferential road.
Region 5.
Region 5. Kay Joey yata ito. Salceda. Ayun pala. Duarte. Di ba si RD Duarte, Region 5? Tapos, sige, sagutin na muna natin yung Batan. Bakit dalawang items pa? Yung isang dalawa ba circumferential road sa Batan? Isa lang. Bakit dalawa pa items?
There's only one, according to them, Your Honor.
Oh,
There's
pero
only one.
bakit dalawang items? Isang 7.5 million, isang 2.096 million.
Papagsamahin ba yan? Papagsamahin ba yan?
Maski dalawa kontraktor, isang item na lang.
Mga 15 yan. They will check on that. It seems he's not aware at this moment, Your Honor. Ah, ganun ba? Bago ka lang ba? Bagong kukuha lang. He's the ARD, Your Honor. Can we get back to you on that
Yes.
Batan item, Your Honor?
Pareho rin, yung Batan, nasa municipality ng Rapu-Rapu ito eh. Yung Rapu-Rapu, island din ito. No? Island municipality and there's an island barangay. Kung tama ba yun, RD? Island municipality and yet there's still an island barangay which is Batan.
Dito ka sumagot, Brumit. Hindi yun
Diyan ka sasagot sa sponsor.
Kaya nga, ang tanong, island barangay ba yung Rapura? Island barangay ba yung Rapura? Yes, he confirms what your
Yes.
information.
And
It's an
then,
island barangay. Your Honor.
similarly, Rapu-Rapu, circumferential road, dalawang items pa rin. Isang 7.5, isang 1.877. So, isang circumferential road, bakit dalawang items, dalawang projects pa?
He pledges to get back to you just like the issue of Batan, Your Honor. We commit to get back to you on those.
Ito, buti wala si Sherwin. Valenzuela City. 2 projects for drainage along Avocado Street. Exactly worded and funded. Ang pagkaiba lang, yung isa nagdoble yung Valenzuela City. Valenzuela City, Valenzuela City. Pero parehong-pareho yung wordings. How is that?
According to the Secretary, that's probably a typographical error, Your Honor. We'll correct it, Your Honor.
Pero dalawa eh.
Oo nga, tanggalin na yung isa, Your
Exactly
Honor.
worded.
So, tatanggalin yung isa.
Magkano Valenzuela yung isa?
Just one of two things, Your Honor. They will either...
Ah, so, tatanggalin yung isang 10 million kasi pareho lang naman eh.
Well, it's good. There's two possibilities according to the Secretary, Your Honor. It's either a typographical error or it's a phase 1, phase 2, and ipagsasama na lang ho siguro. Opo.
Yeah,
This could be different sections
yes.
of the... But they will
Okay.
look into it, Your Honor.
Yeah, thank you. Now, may we know the details of the 500 million pesos peso appropriation for bridge rehabilitation? Masyadong vague din. Tapos meron pang and other related activities. Ano ibig sabihin ng other related activities?
They will give you the breakdown, Your Honor. They said it's the preparation for the big one or the earthquake, Your Honor. So it's repair, rehabilitation.
yung other
Opo.
related
But they can break it down. They will give you a listing, Your Honor.
Yeah. Kung related sa calamity, sa earthquake, di ba dapat nasa NDRMF yan?
It's preparation. I think. I guess they're talking
Preparation.
about strengthening
Okay.
particular bridges, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think Secretary was quoted the other day about the need to strengthen Guadalupe Bridge, for instance, Your Honor,
Okay.
in
Thank you.
preparation. So it's a
Pero-
retrofitting of sorts.
So walang specifics ito dahil ano?
Meron po, bibigay po nila sa iyo.
So, meron ng study do sa mga bridges na kailangang i-strengthen, i-reinforce.
Yes, Your Honor. Would you like
And
a copy
they
of
have
the
a list.
study?
They have a list.
Yes, Your Honor. There is a list.
Now, nung nag-BICAM deliberation tayo last year for this year's budget, napag-usapan natin, wala na yung dredging, wala na desilting. May sumulpot na naman dito. Ayan. Ano, tatanggalin? We will delete, ha?
He will delete, sabi nila. So, I'm just repeating what they said, Your Honor.
Saan ba to? Hmm.
What they said, dredging, they will remove all the capital
And-
outlay.
And purchase.
They will remove it,
Yeah.
yes, and they will include it in the
And
maintenance,
this
Your
is
Honor.
how much? 15 million, 10 million, 20 million, 20 million, 44 million. Di ba?
Yeah, it's over 100
Yung
million, Your
sa-
Honor.
Yuseco, 15 million. One Luna, 15
They said they're willing to delete that, Your Honor,
And-
and they will just put it in maintenance.
Okay.
So it's a
Maintenance
regular,
or
which is probably
capital
better.
outlay? Capital
Wag na
outlay.
sa capital outlay, ho.
Hindi na.
Sa maintenance na lang po. Mas maganda rin ho yun kasi most likely it will be on a regular basis rather than a one-time
Okay.
basis, Your Honor.
So, effectively deleted as of 10 to, or 5 to 11. Now, gravel road. Anong policy sa gravel road? Pag nag-open kayo ng road, dati pa ba yung sinauna noon na igagravel muna, preparatory sa concreting? Or di ba diretso na tayo nagko-concrete?
You cannot concrete right away. What's the period? They have an explanation, Your Honor. When you open a new road, they put gravel, and it has to settle down for 1 year. So there's a 1 year gap between opening it and graveling it, and then actually concreting the road, Your Honor. So hindi pwedeng konkretuhin daw
Diretsong
kagad.
concrete.
Opo, opo.
So, policy ninyo, pero selective ito, di ba? Hindi lahat ng i-open na road, kailangan i-gravel muna kasi yung iba settled na naman siguro yung based on engineering, yung siguro geodetic. Kasi parang sayang naman i-gravel mo eh. Mawawash away din yun eh.
It depends also on, you're correct, Your Honor. It depends on the condition of the soil according to
Yes.
them. Because pag tinambakan daw ho yun talaga antayin daw ho yun. Pero pagka matigas na daw po yung lupa, pwede na daw pong i-concreto ho yun.
Okay. Next item, 603 million pesos. Tulay ng Pangulo para sa kaunlarang pang-agraryo. Saan po ito? I think this is for DAR, pero the funds or the fund is lodged in the DPWH. Pero saan ito? Identified ba ito?
What is that? That's a DAR bridge project,
Yeah, I
Your
know.
Honor.
But
They are
the-
the implementing agency ho.
But yung budget is lodged in the DPWH.
Yes,
So
opo.
DPWH
They're the
should
implementing
know.
agency, Your Honor.
Yeah, implementing agency. Masyadong general yung tulay ng Pangulo. Wala bang ano man lang ito? Identified na
Who does the listing? DAR is the
submit.
one who provides the listings ho.
so hindi pa na-provide.
Binibigay lang ho sa kanila yon. They will get the listings, Your Honor.
Okay. Ito na yung ano, parang ewan ko kung typo ito. O cut and paste. Requesting for the improvement of road Nabagan to Binaban, Apari, Cagayan. How can you implement a request, Mr. President?
I think that's the typographical. Yan talaga typographical ho.
Typo
It
or-
should be
Typo or cut and paste?
typo in the
Nasaan
white.
yung cover letter nito?
Baka na cut and paste yung
Parang
letterhead,
hindi
Your
ko
Honor.
matanggap na typo ito. Parang cut and paste ito na isinaksak na lang doon sa GAB or sa NEP. Requesting. Ngayon lang nakakita ng ganito, honestly. Requesting for the improvement of a road.
Yeah. What is it now? What is the... Ano na nga?
Hindi pa na-approve.
Tinanggal na po yung requesting. Kasi na-approve na daw.
So, good as approved. Tinanggal lang yung requesting.
Opo. Improvement of the road.
Pero may stationing din ito. May limits. Walang ano.
Pag local daw, wala daw talagang stationing.
Yung susunod, water management facilities. Parang na-misplace yata itong water supply. Yung mga kasama niya, iba lahat. Parang siya lang napapaiba.
Sa water supply sa nalagay.
Oh, naligaw eh.
School building. Yes. You're on the, I suspect that's also a misplaced item.
Yeah, misplaced item.
We'll ask them to correct that, Your Honor. It should be, if it's really a school building, it should be in the school building sa inyo rin. Sa kanila rin po yung school buildings, but they will just transfer the
So
item. Your Honor.
nasa errata na rin yan. Now, ito yung ROW, no? This is a perennial issue that we always discuss. Napansin namin doon sa special provision, inalis yung portion na kailangan maayos muna yung ROW bago mag-start yung implementation. Why did you propose to delete that particular paragraph?
We discussed that with in brief with Director Doblon, Your Honor. That was in the 2018.
Paki-plus nga yung screen na yung
Yeah.
tinanggal yung...
I think that provision was the 2018 GAA. But I think in practice, it's very difficult, Your Honor, for them to proceed with the project. Kasi minsan yung right-of-way only affects a portion of the project. So, ang maganda sana, ang gusto nila, matuloy na nila yung proyekto while they are negotiating for that particular right-of-way. Kasi kung, if it's a small portion or percentage of the project, and that provision is there, it will hamper their ability to complete the project. Madidelay yung buong project, Your
That's
Honor.
reasonable enough.
Yes.
Kaya lang, huwag na natin tanggalin yung provision. Anyway, covered naman talaga ng ROW law eh. 10752 ba yun? Ayan. 10752.
Yes.
Maski alisin natin sa special provision, that will not
It's a
exempt
provision
you
of law.
from the provision of law na exempt you sa... Yeah, tama. So, sa amendment, I'll just propose to retain that particular paragraph.
Tapos sir, sa buong projects nila, 6 lang naman yung ma-include na lang. So,
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor. That's they agree with you. It's in the law. So.
Anyway, nakita namin na parang 6 na lang daw yung merong including ROW. So,
Okay.
ibalik
They will
na
just
lang
amend
natin.
also the description of the project
Yeah.
para mapabilis po.
And the reason as advanced by the sponsor is yeah, acceptable.
Okay naman.
Kasi kesa
Sounds
madelay yung buong stretch,
Opo.
meron kasi na-settle na portion na may ROW issue,
Opo.
pwedeng i-proceed na lang.
Opo,
So,
opo.
we can close our eyes.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ito, bato-bato sa langit pero wala akong intention dito. Construction of multipurpose building, kolehiyo ng lungsod ng Lipa City, Batangas. A. Construction completion of multipurpose building. Sa NEP po ito, sa National Expenditure. 70 million. Construction completion of multipurpose building, same. 75 million. Construction completion of multipurpose building, 100 million. Gano'ng karami po ba yung multipurpose building sa kolehiyo ng Lipa, Batangas? Bakit? Napakarami multipurpose buildings ito. Although I understand this was deleted sa Senate version.
Wala na.
I don't know who deleted it, but it was deleted.
I
But
think Senator Rex is raising his hand, Your
sige.
Honor.
We want to hear from my Lodi.
Yes, Mr. Beto.
Our Lodi.
Thank you to my eagle-eyed senator also from Cavite and the Philippines. This is found in the NEP budget,
Yes.
and these were requests made by the city mayor and the congressman. No? So there are two ways of doing the budget, right? One is through the Regional Development Council.
Yes.
As you pointed out, only 14%. And the other is you work out with the line agencies concerned, no? Whether it's a DPWH, in this case, a DPWH. No? So you submit projects to your district engineer, regional director, so on and so forth. Okay? Now, this project is already in the budget of the city government.
Okay.
They've decided to do it themselves. So in the committee report in the Senate, tinanggal na namin yan. Nauna yung budget sa Lipa. They will finance it. Tinanggal na yan. Pinalitan na lang yung mga project na to other projects.
Because this is not a state college, di ba? I understand. Local.
Yes.
Local.
LUC po siya, LUC.
Yeah.
However,
LUC.
it is accredited by CHED. It's one of the better local government colleges, not only serving the students of Lipa, but the entire 4th District of Batangas, including from Quezon. Mahigit mga 10,000 students yan. na accredited ng CHED sa free public college tuition.
Okay, thank you. When we deleted it, was it redistributed? Kasi hindi namin makita kung saan napunta eh.
Yes, Your Honor.
Merong redistribution
Yes, Your
and
Honor.
itemized naman.
Yes, Your
Oh,
Honor.
thank you. Thank you very much. Hindi ko nahanapin kung saan. Basta tama na yung itemized.
Palagay ko alam nyo na yung kung saan na-redistribute.
Ito, this was taken up during the committee hearing, yung sa flood mitigation structures along Donsol. Ito yung overlap eh. Na-resolve na ito because you submitted to us a clarification, ano? And we want to be further clarified dun sa clarification na binigay ninyo because eto, pakita nga yung yung mga segments.
Regarding the physical target, Your Honor, construction of flood control structures along Banuang, Gurang, Donsol section, Donsol, Sorsogon. The answer is, as per approved plans and programs of works, the physical target is 318 lineal meters with station limits of station 0 plus 680 to station 0 plus 998, Your Honor.
Yes, there was a modification submitted by request submitted by the RD of Region 5 last August, di ba?
Apo.
Yeah, okay. Andiyan yung mga segments. Nasaan na ba yung ano natin? Ayan. AC, AB, di ba? So, nakalagay dyan, completed as of 2018, completed as of 2017. Completed. Pero sa gaan ng 2019,
Meron ulit.
pareho rin eh. Kung completed na, bakit? Of course, merong modification request na sinabit and ibang stretch na yung tinutumbok ng modification. The issue here is, bakit napasama pa sa NEP at saka sa GAA ng 2019
Kung completed na.
kung completed na? And then, imamodify lang ng August. So, wala rin planning. Ang planning nangyayari before the GAA is approved or is enacted. The GAB, the budget measure is enacted into law, dapat na-finalize na. Pero yung request for modification submitted only last August. Another issue, umiksi yung kasi nag-overlap eh. Umiksi pero hindi naman umiksi yung amount. Pareho pa rin. Yung cost,
This is the explanation, Your Honor. Based on the modification, the program project length was shortened due to higher quantity for item 5081, hand-laid rock embankment, meaning more expensive. Meaning that hand-laid rock embankment would cost more, Your Honor. It's more expensive.
hindi, pero pag-uusapan muna yung GAA, parehong-pareho yung segment as recommended sa GAA.
Completed na siya.
Bakit yung amount
Corrected to what?
hindi nakatipid? Nag-overlap nga. Nakatipid ng 300, ilan yun?
Corrected.
To only 344 linear meters from 610 linear meters.
They modified it, Your Honor, to reflect
Yes,
that,
I know.
that
But
there
the
will be no
cost
overlap.
remains the same eh. Na umiksi na nga, pareho pa rin yung halaga. Di pa pag umiksi, makakatipid tayo.
Portion na yun. Because. They saying yung,
Yung-
gagawin pa ay mas mahal na ho. Because
Yung one-lane road, kasi magsalubong ito, ewan ko kung magkaiba yung contractor, hindi siguro nag-usap. Yung isang lane, pumunta rito, isang lane pa sa lubong, nag-overlap sila. Nung kinorek, na-shorten siya ng from 610 to 344. Nung sinabit uli for GAA, the same funding requirement ang isinabmit, referring to the same segment of road na nagkadoble na nga. When they modified, siyempre, iba na yung segment, di ba?
Are we talking about Masbate or Sorsogon, Your Honor?
Hindi,
Sorsogon pa rin, Sorsogon pa rin.
Sorsogon. Wala pa, advance naman yung ating, ano.
Well,
Yung
sabi nga
Masbate,
nila-
ganun din naman ang issue.
Well, yun nga ang sagot nila ho, yung dito sa portion na hindi pa nagagawa, mas mahal daw ho talaga dahil sa iba daw yung yung terrain. They need to make a higher
No,
embankment.
my point
according to
is, as recommended, as reflected in the NEP and in the GAA, they were, ang assumption, they were referring to the same segment, yung A to C, pero ang cost, yun ang point eh. Wala pa tayo sa modification.
them. I see.
Anyway, ang ano lang dito, ang
I'm
point
trying
lang
to
is,
understand, Your Honor.
sana wag na lang maulit.
Apo.
O, yun na lang.
Pero I just want to understand also para klaro.
Yes.
Yung point niyo po is nag-overlap ho. Tapos na ho dapat, tapos inulit
Pinapondohan
yung...
ulit.
I see, I see.
Pinapondo.
We'll make sure, dapat tama yung point. That goes to your earlier point na the moment you put specific stations or limits, at least doon makikita ho. So we'll
Yes.
ask them to make it a practice ho, Your Honor, para walang ang repetition of walang chance for double funding or repetition, Your Honor.
Yun lang, wag na lang sana maulit.
Opo, opo.
Thank you. Yung Masbate, parang ganun din ang istorya. So, wag na lang maulit. Wag na natin ulitin. Pero wag na rin yung ulitin.
How do we do that? I put near farm of Don Pepito. Ano gagawin doon? No, but mahirap ba? Ang local laws. Pero may name yan, di ba? There's a name. That's right, it's the street. Oo. Beyond the street. Ay, maganda naman sa local, siguro maiksi naman yan.
Masbate, tama ito.
Hindi, ano nga sasabihin? Malapit sa Kalabaw ni Don Pepito. Bakit? Oo, sa bahay. Pero nabenta na yung bahay. Wala na ba? Ginibak na yung bahay.
Next item, yung local projects implemented by the central government. Yung various infrastructure. Yung, actually, blips ito, di ba? Hindi naman to BILM. Various local infrastructure projects. Di ba mas magandang i-download na lang natin para bigyan natin ng opportunity yung mga local government units to implement their own projects. Total, local projects ito eh. Para mabawasan din kayo ng trabaho, at the same time, matuto naman yung local government units to implement their own infrastructure projects. Kasi kung laging central, hindi na sila matututo.
According to them, it's really up to Congress, Your Honor. Kasi tayo daw ang may final touch sa budget. Pero ang request nila, kapag ida-download sa local government yung funds, diretso na po sa local government na
Yes.
hindi sila ang legally required to liquidate the funds, Your
Correct,
Honor. Kasi parang nadagdagan sila na trabaho kung ganun. Kasi they
Parang
have to
yung
deal pa with the accountability.
accountability
Ho.
sa
Kung
kanila
sinong
pa rin.
may hawak ng pondo, yun din ang dapat maging accountable. Yun lang ang, they have no objection, Your Honor.
Okay. I think we should discuss this further.
Opo, opo.
Para naman makapacitate yung mga local government units din.
Opo.
At saka mabawasan yung trabaho, they can concentrate on big ticket or yung national projects. Ito yung pinoint out ni Senate Minority Leader, yung sa disbursement over obligation. The top two, ito yung DOTR saka DPWH. DPWH, yung obligations incurred, 629 billion. As per SAOB. Ang disbursement, 225 billion. So, ang disbursement over obligation is a measly 36.3%. That's for DPWH.
2017 ho yan, no? 2017.
Yeah, 2017.
Opo.
DTR, halos ganun din. Anyway, DOTR.
He's citing that.
Sa 2018,
2018.
halos hindi nag-improve because yung DPWH, 696 billion,
Equivalent itong 79 bali.
and disbursement, 298 billion. So, again, 42.9%. Ang tanong, bakit ganito? Ano bang problema?
Your Honor, si Secretary Mark called my attention to, it looks bad on paper, Your Honor, but kasi dati ho, before we adopted the cash-based budgeting, they actually had 2 years to complete the project. So, sabi niya, if you take into account that fact and adjust the rates, kasi let's say for 2020 ho, they won't just be implementing, or no, maybe that's a bad example because that we're already on cash base, no. But let's take a previous year, Your Honor, like let's say 2018. They're actually implementing even the past years. So yung point niya, if you include the past years projects, their disbursement is actually higher. Like yeah. So in 2018, they actually disbursed 590 billion.
So, ang suggested ko, para hindi masamang tingnan sa papel, they should closely coordinate with DBM. Para
statistics
hindi,
ho,
para
yung
yung ma-reflect sa saob,
Opo.
yung tamang reflection.
Yes.
Di ba?
Actually,
Yun yung
I
lumabas.
didn't realize that until he actually just mentioned it to me about an hour ago. And I realized, oh nga, no? Kasi, and sabi rin niya, most projects, hindi talaga nako-complete in 1 year. So,
Yes,
it
kaya nga,
really,
di ba, ang tanong ko doon sa
Opo.
general principles, viable ba yung
cash-based,
mag-cash-based?
yes. I really don't
I
know
don't
the
think
answer,
so.
to be
I
honest,
don't
Your
think so.
Honor. Opo. I
Because-
think the most viable at the moment is the hybrid, Your
Yes.
Honor.
Hybrid.
Opo.
Kasi nga, we keep on passing joint resolutions, di ba? To extend.
Mangyayari
So,
na
bakit
dadagdagan
pa
lang ho
kayo
yung trabaho ng Kongreso kasi nag-adjust po tayo.
Yes. So next year, baka may joint resolution na naman tayo to extend up to 2022. So ganun din.
Sana ilagay na lang ho natin sa batas na it's a hybrid already. It's the most practical, I think, Mr. President. But yes, your point is well taken, and from the department's point of view, medyo ayaw rin nila yung they look bad with this number. So I think they will like your suggestion. They will look favorably upon your suggestion to adjust maybe have an alternative measurement, Your Honor, which takes into account the 2-year obligation and disbursement cycle.
Okay. May mga nakapila, so I'll just terminate my interpellation and allow our other colleagues to ask their questions. Thank you.
Thank you
Mr.
very
President.
much, Senator Ping, and thank you for your contributions here. I think you've definitely made the budget more transparent and more responsive in our democracy, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Majority Leader.
We were informed, Mr. President, Senator Pacquiao also wants to interpolate the budget. He's upstairs, as well as Senator Tolentino will no longer ask questions in the budget, he mentioned to me. And Senator Julon. Could we take a break, pause for one minute suspension, Mr. President, to locate these gentlemen?
Session suspended. Maaga pa eh. Figs.
Ready to resume, Mr. President? Ready to resume.
Session resumed.
Mr. President, may we recognize, I think the microphone's not, hello. Yeah, may we recognize our distinguished Minority Floor Leader, Senator Franklin Drilon, to propound some questions to the department.
Senator Frank Drilon, Minority Leader, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will the good sponsor yield the floor to a few questions?
Certainly to the distinguished minority leader, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before I raise the questions on the budget, let me spread into the record that when we raised the issue of underspending, it was not designed or meant to disparage Secretary Villar, for whom I have the highest respect. It
Who do you
was-
respect more, Senator or Secretary, Your Honor? I'm just kidding, Your Honor. I'm just kidding.
As I said, it was not meant to disparage Secretary Villar. It was not meant to belittle his person. We were only raising this issue as part of our duty to exercise check and balance, exercise our oversight functions, over a very critical issue in our economy, and that is the disposition rate of, or disbursement rate of our budget. Because there is no denying, and it is accepted, that our budget, particularly the infrastructure program, is a critical component of our gross domestic product. In fact, government spending constitutes almost 20%, just a little less than 20% of our GDP. And therefore, the budget plays a critical role insofar as the issue of achievement of our program growth rates are concerned. So it is in that context that we raise the issue of underspending. Unfortunately, some of those in the administration took it to another level and started insulting this representation, which is unfortunate.
He's a close friend of yours, Your Honor. He's a close...
He's a fraternity brother of the sponsor, Mr. President.
but closer in a contemporary of the interpellator. Your Honor.
Anyway, that is why I want to keep the debate at the level that is befitting of this Senate. And
If I may respond, Your Honor, briefly.
yes, please.
I have known the gentleman to be a statesman always, never to engage in petty debates. And as the leader of the opposition, I think it's expected of you, Your Honor, to push. And if you are able somehow to push our government agencies to, as a result of your criticism, to work at a speedier pace, then I think you would have done the country a service, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So maybe we start by putting into the record what percentage of the GDP is our infrastructure budget. Under the 2020 infrastructure budget, how much would that be in terms of percentage of the gross domestic product?
They have it, they have it. It is, for 2020, it's 4.6, Your Honor.
For 2020, it's 4.6.
Opo.
And in 2019, how much was it? Or currently, how much is it?
In 2019, it's 4.3. For 2018, it's... wait, hold on. Are you asking for disbursement or expenditure, Your Honor?
I am asking for the budget.
The budget, yeah. For
as
the budget,
a
Your Honor,
percentage of gross
Yeah.
domestic product.
for 2019, it's 4.3. I think that's lower because of the vetoed items. For 2018, it's 5.7. For 2017, it's 6.3, Your Honor, for the record.
Now, may I ask our good sponsor, what is the ideal percentage of infrastructure budget to GDP? For example, how do we compare our ratio of the infrastructure budget to compare it with our neighboring countries? For example, Vietnam. Do we have data as to how much their infrastructure budget is as a percentage of GDP?
Your Honor, the World Bank recommends at least 5, especially for and higher even for developing countries, Your Honor.
Yeah, at least
But
5.
according to the Secretary, countries like India, China have sometimes done 8% a year. Your
Right.
Honor.
Now, may I flash on the board the infrastructure budget in the past administration? Okay? You will notice that the budget allocation for infrastructure as a percentage of GDP reached 5% in 2016.
That's right. It's 5.2, Your Honor.
5.2%.
For 2016. For
5.2%. So why is the allocation in the budget for this year and next year lower than 5.2%? it seems that we are retrogressing.
Actually, Senate President Pro Temp raised that also yesterday in his interpellations during the general principles when he was using the 2018 budget when we were working on a 3.7 or 3.6 trillion budget. The budget as a percentage was higher of the budget, the infrastructure budget, whereas now it seems to have contracted as a percentage. But my response would be we're still in the process, Your Honor, and I think when Congress finally approves on third reading and submits to the President for his signature the General Appropriations Act, there is a general tendency to increase certain items, and I think that's one of the items that will increase, Your Honor.
All right. So, as we recognize the need to increase the infrastructure budget in order that it would meet its its role in the development of our economy. Would you agree with that, sir?
Your Honor, yes. In fact, if I may cite some data, in the years 2018, 2019, and a projection for 2020, the projected disbursements are actually higher.
Yes.
The actual, rather, for 2018 and 2019. The disbursements in 2018 for infrastructure reached 5.1% of the GDP, which is around 886 billion. And for 2019, they're projecting disbursements of around 5.2%. But because of, as you know, the history, we may or we may not reach that.
So, hindi naman po totoo na walang ginawa ang nakaraang administrasyon.
Oh, I don't believe that, Your Honor. I don't believe that. Oh.
Now,
In fact, if I may quote Secretary Dominguez, in the early years of the Duterte administration, he was saying that any growth that would be achieved by the Duterte administration would be founded on what previous administrations had achieved, Your Honor. And we can trace it all the way back to the fiscal reforms headed by Senator Recto in 2004, 5, 6, which laid the foundations when you were, I think, you were the Senate President. And you can go back to administrations and you can see how our fiscal house was put in order, Your Honor.
you know, I wish that the administration could speak with one voice insofar as this aspect is concerned.
Well, the problem, Your Honor, is if you discuss this to the media, there's a tendency to oversimplify messages, and there's a lot lost, Your Honor.
Now, okay, may we know the national road network that we have today in terms of kilometers?
Around 32,933 kilometers, Your Honor.
32,000, how much?
933, Your Honor.
933. And how long can this administration claim to have paved during the period of the last 3 years?
This administration. How long?
Ilan sila?
Your Honor, they're explaining that when the Duterte administration came in, the national roads were around between 90 to 95% paved already.
Oh, okay.
And now we are already at 90 for primary. It says 96. Yeah, they're saying around 99% of roads are now paved. So if you work backwards, Your Honor, you're talking about maybe between 4 and 9%, Your Honor. for this administration of the national roads? Because a substantial portion was already
Yes.
done by the previous
Yeah,
administration.
Can I
Because
have that figure again? How much of the national roads were paved by the time this administration came into
between 90
power?
to 95% is the estimate of the DPWH, Your Honor.
And in terms of actual kilometers of the national roads already paved, would you have of the past administration?
95 of calculator. Because you're talking about roughly 29 to 30,000 kilometers, Your Honor.
Yeah. Let me flash on the board. All right. As of December 31, 2015, Mr. Sponsor, as flashed in the board, the total number of national road in terms of is total length of the national roads was 32,633, of which 28,919 were paved, or 88.6%. So your figure of 90 is
Generous.
is not, oh, at least within range.
Yes, thank
because
you,
the
Your Honor.
actual percentage is 88.6%. And therefore, as you have mentioned, hindi na masyadong dahilan po nagawa ng yung mga kalsada, yung percentage now is yes. The paved kilometers would not be that much. But in other words, may nagawa naman pala yung nakaraang administrasyon.
Yes, again, I'll repeat my answer. I
Yes.
don't deny that, Your Honor. In fact, I remember, just like Senator Villar, I think just like Secretary Villar, Secretary Babe Singson was also known to be a hard worker and very efficient, Your Honor.
Yeah, in fact, this is contained in the report of Secretary Singson, which was submitted to this administration, to Secretary Villar's administration at the end of the term. So hindi naman totoo na walang nagawa yung nakaraang administrasyon.
I did not say that, Your Honor. It was your
I'm
close
not
friend
saying-
who's, it
Mr.
was your
President,
close
I did
friend
not
who
say-
said that, Your Honor.
I didn't say that it is the good sponsor who said that. Never intended it to be that way. Now, a mention was made, I don't know if here in our debates, that the need to fast track many of our infrastructure projects could be addressed by hiring of more engineers. Is that correct, sir?
It's correct, Your Honor.
And so how many engineers have we so far hired in addition to what we had at the start of this administration?
You hired how many? Yan yung hires niyo? In September of this month, Your Honor, the DPWH was given additional 2,079 positions. So now they're in the process of hiring, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, when was this?
September of this year, Your Honor.
In September of this
The
year?
DBM, I think this was mentioned by,
Yes.
it came out in your interpellation that the DBM gave 2,000 approximately engineering positions to the DPW, the department, and they are now in the process of hiring, Your Honor.
Very good. And what is our program insofar as the utilization of this budgetary item for over 2,000 engineers be completed?
Mr. President, they've issued the notice of staffing, and apparently there's a process where they have to publish the availability of these positions. But they foresee by the end of the year, maybe they they foresee about 60 to 70% of the positions might be filled, Your Honor.
Okay. So that by the start of next year, we could look forward to a faster implementation of the projects.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. No. Because that brings me now to the point of the issue we raised of underspending. Because we can understand that we have to provide sufficient support in the bureaucracy in order to accelerate the disbursement of the budget. Now, when we said that there was underspending, we did not author this. We did not invent this, Mr. President. We were just quoting the COA reports. Let me, and in the 2007 COA report, I'm sorry, 2017 COA report, it stated that of the total allotments received of 662 billion, rounded off, 662 billion for calendar year 2017, 611 or 92% was obligated. However, only 222.6 billion or 34.14% was disbursed due to the delayed and non-implementation of the infrastructure projects. For the record, can we have your comment here? Because I would repeat, when we raised this issue, it was only we were raising this on the basis of the COA report.
Yes, Your Honor. We appreciate the information given by the good minority leader. And on paper, it doesn't look very good. But the truth is, Your Honor, and my attention was called to this before we began today's budget hearing, that because we only recently moved to a modified cash-based budgeting. But in actuality, like if in the year you are posted on our slide here, this is fiscal year 2017, it states there that only 222 billion was disbursed, representing 34% of that year's budget or that year's projects, according to the
of
COA.
that year's obligated amount.
Yes, but the
because
truth is-
it could even be lower if we use as a denominator the national budget.
Yes,
because,
yes. I stand corrected, Your Honor. But the point is, in 2017, we were working on a 2-year obligation cycle for projects, Your Honor. So, disbursement cycle. So, the truth is, for 2017, the department disbursed not only 222 billion, but in fact disbursed 405 billion if we include the accounts payable and projects which were completed that year, but which may have been obligated or started not in 2017, but in 2016, Your Honor. So that's in a sense, the COA is only measuring the projects for 2017, when actually the department was working on projects even from previous years. So if you look at the obligation rate from previous years, it's if you include that, rather, the 2-year obligation cycle, it paints a different picture, Your Honor. And the disbursement rate of the DPWH for 2017 would actually be, if you're looking at disbursement over allotment, it's 60%. For disbursement over obligation, it's 65%. And 2018, it even improves, Your Honor, from for disbursement over allotment, it's actually 78%. And I'm looking at the data from 2011. These are very good figures in comparison, Your Honor. There's been improvement. So you're correct. Underspending is not a new phenomenon, and I see it as a systemic problem, Your Honor, rather than a political or an administration problem, Your Honor. I think it will bedevil all administrations if there are no structural or systemic changes that are made, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. So as we have said, we were basing our statements on the basis of the COA report. Maybe for purposes of comparison, since since certain people in Malacanang has said wala namang ginawa ang nakaraang administrasyon, can we flash on the board the DPWH budget utilization from 2011 to 2015?
Okay.
1 minute suspension, sir.
Session suspended.
Nine ba? No, previous to that. The slide before that. Just the slide before that. Wala?
Eyes are getting bad. I can hardly see that. Can you see that? Kami salamin ko makita.
Slide number? Wala. Ha?
Pride na.
Wala. Huh? All right, ready to resume, Mr. President.
Session resumed.
As the chart will show, Mr. President, during the years 2011 to 2015, it will show that insofar as percentages are concerned, in the Aquino administration, which is disparaged by some people in Malacanang regularly, the obligations versus allotment for 2015 amounted to 79% in 2015, and disbursements versus allotments 55%. In 2014, the obligations versus allotment is 78%, and the disbursements versus allotments is 64%. And down the line, in 2013, it was 91% as obligations versus allotments, and disbursements versus allotments is 75%. All of this data would be reflected in the records of DPWH, Mr. President, and it can be seen from the data that may nagawa naman yung nakaraang administrasyon.
For the third time, Your Honor, we don't deny that.
Yes, and I will keep on repeating that standard because that is the standard which some people have unfairly raised. The standard forces us to bring these issues out.
I think there should just be a great debate between the two friends, Your Honor. Publicly, we'll
Unfortunately-
sell tickets,
well,
Your Honor.
We will wait until...
We will sell tickets. Your Honor.
Yeah, unfortunately, that we will debate only in the Senate, and we will wait until he comes to the
Until he
Senate,
comes here.
if ever he comes.
If, yes.
So, all right. By the way, just for the record, would the records of DPWH confirm this data of disbursements versus allotments and obligations versus allotments?
I wasn't able to gather all of the data. We have the data here, and perhaps you can compare it. We'll give it to you, Your Honor, and you can compare it with your data. What we have here is, for the record, for 2011, obligation versus allotment is 70%. Disbursement versus allotment is 60.8%. Disbursement versus obligation is 86.8%. Same. Oh, she's nodding. The USEC is with the accounting for some rounding off. Yes, it's
Yes.
roughly the same. Your
Yes,
Honor.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's roughly the same. One minute suspension, Mr. President.
Session suspended.
It's ready to resume, Mr. President.
Session resumed.
Mr. President, for 2018, how much was the total allotments received by DPWH?
Yeah, no? 752. 752.1 billion, Your Honor.
752.1 billion.
Yes, Your Honor.
How much of that was obligated?
696.2 billion, Your Honor.
A little, I cannot hear, sir.
696.2 billion. 696.2 billion, Your Honor.
That's about 92.5%?
92.6%, Your Honor.
Yeah, 92.6% of the allotment. And how much was disbursed?
590.7 billion, Your Honor.
Of 590, are we sure? Or does that also include the previous year's
Yes, it
obligation?
includes.
Includes?
It includes for previous years. It's the
Yeah,
same.
in other words, it's a running, you know.
It's a running total, Your Honor.
Yes, a running total.
It's the same throughout, regardless of who is the president. It's the measurement has not changed, Your Honor.
Yes. So maybe we should tell COA to be more accurate in its
Well, I think it's just a different measurement, Your Honor. That's how statistics can sometimes be misleading, Your Honor. That's why Senator Lacson earlier was saying, why don't you work together with DBM so that the statistics can be a more flattering and be more reflective of the reality on the ground, Your Honor.
Okay.
So I think, and just for the record, that 92.6 is a record of sorts for the DPWH, Your Honor.
Yes, okay. Now, let's go to the issue of the flagship projects. You know, since 2017, Mr. President, the economic team has been referring to 75 flagship projects. It was the same list in 2017 until 2019. This is found in the technical notes on the 2020 proposed budget. In July of 2018, the NEDA Director General said that 43 out of the 75 projects will be done in 2 years' time. And this list has always been referred to, always cited by NEDA, and even the DBM when the topic build, build, build is brought up. And therefore, it is logical that we refer to these statements and the description as the build, build, build program when we discuss this particular infrastructure projects. Come next year, we are told that this list will be changed. Okay? After 3 years, we have decided to reassess the list. Realistically, do we have time to make any substantial progress in the completion of these projects or even the commencement of the construction of these projects in the remaining 2.5 years of this administration?
Sorry, sir. The secretary was talking to me. Could you repeat your question, sir?
Nakalimutan ko na yung tinanong ko eh.
Hindi, yung flagship project. So you were asking for something. You were asking for something.
Okay, yeah. I will well, okay.
Well,
At the start of this administration, a list of 75 flagship projects
Yes, Your Honor.
was made public.
Nabago na ho yun dahil nag-press con si...
Oh, ilang beses na inuulit yan. Pati sa mga official publication ng economic team, 75 palaging binabanggit. Kaya yan naman ang sinusundan natin.
Opo, opo.
Sa katunayan, iyan po ay hanggang recently, 75 pa rin.
Opo.
At yung listahan na 75 na yan, nakalathala sa dyaryo. At in fact, the last, it was yesterday, I think, when the national media carried the list of 75. Now, we are told that the 75 is being revised,
Has been revised, Your Honor.
has been
Been
revised.
revised, Your Honor.
And may we know, first, what is it a reality check, given the stages where these projects are being implemented? A reality check, how many can we really finish by the end of this administration? And the reason we raise that is because in all the statements of our economic team, they have only started in 9 of these infrastructure projects. I hope that, well, of course, we do appreciate that these are not all DPWH projects. We don't know. But in any case, just on a general information,
Yun ang hinahanap ko. Okay. Yes, we confirmed that at the start of the administration, there were 75 projects, and as late as yesterday or Monday, Your Honor, or Tuesday, there were still 75 projects. But because the flagship project presidential advisor of our flagship projects, Vince Dizon, had a press con yesterday where he laid out the 100 new flagship projects, Your Honor. And in a sense, you're asking if it's a reality check. Yes, I think it is a reality check, but it's a reality check for the better, in the sense that the more ambitious projects, or those which would have a longer implementation period, have been, and those with a low economic rate of return will no longer be pursued, Your Honor. So that 75 has been replaced with a list of 100 projects, which I just saw this morning, and I'll be furnishing Your Honor a copy. There are 35 ongoing. Shovel and equipment are on the ground. 21 are in a more advanced stage of approval. 12 are in advanced stages of feasibility studies, and 32 will commence construction in 6 to 8 months, Your Honor. We'll furnish you the details.
thank you very much. So out of the original 75, how many were deleted?
Ilan? Ito? 12? 12 were deleted from the original 75, Your Honor.
12 were deleted.
Sorry, I correct myself, Your Honor. There are 28 total of the 75 which have been deleted in the 100, Your Honor. 28.
No, we're talking about the original list of 75.
Opo.
Okay.
Yung nawala po doon sa 75, 28 po.
Ang nawala sa 75, 28.
Oo. But
so,
only...
ilan na lang ang naiwan doon sa 75? 75 minus 28? Ganun ba yan?
47, opo.
How many?
47.
47. All right. In terms of value,
But just to clarify,
Yeah,
Your Honor, dun sa 28 na nawala, 12 lang ang sa DPWH.
all right. Okay, good. 12 ang sa 28 to 12 ang sa DPWH.
Opo.
Alin po yung 12 na pertaining to DPWH? In fairness, so that we can limit our questions.
Na nawala ho.
Opo.
Yung... Number 1 is Bohol-Leyte Link Bridge. Number 2 is Cebu-Bohol Link Bridge. 3 is Cebu-Negros Link Bridge. 4 is C3 Missing Link Project. 5 is Leyte-Surigao Link. 6 is North Luzon Expressway East Phase 1 and 2. 7 is Mindoro Batangas Super Bridge. 8th is Camarines Catanduanes Friendship Bridge. 9th is the improvement of remaining sections along Pasig River from Delpan Bridge to Napindan Channel. 10th is the Mercury Evangelista Bridge from QC to Pasig. 11th is the Sheridan to JP Rizal Bridge, Mandaluyong to Makati. 12th is the Baloy Plains Flood Control Project in Lanao del Norte, Your Honor.
Would the good sponsor be able to spread into the record how much would this 20 or 12 projects which were deleted would have cost? Just rough estimate.
There's no there's still conceptual stage, Your Honor. That's why any figure would be kind of more of a ballpark
All right.
figure, Your Honor.
Just a ballpark then, without binding the bureaucracy.
The Secretary doesn't want to. If he could be given some time to compute that, if that's all right.
No problem.
Yes, Your Honor, because it's a lot of
Yes.
projects. So.
We can understand
Yeah,
that.
he can come back to you, Your Honor.
Yes. And may we know in general why they were shelved?
It's the low economic rate of return, Your Honor.
It's the low economic rate of return.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
So if they had a low economic rate of return, why were they included in the first place?
Yeah, they were proposals in the beginning, and then after the feasibility study, they were no longer pursued, Your Honor. But I guess initially they appeared attractive, Your Honor.
Okay. So, were there, how many of these projects were supposed to be funded by official development assistance or loans from foreign sources? Or, in other words, what would fall under foreign assisted projects?
Of the 12, Your Honor. Of the 12.
Of the 12.
Yung 12 daw, ilan ng foreign assistant?
Just so you don't have to get, were there commitments, fees? Two questions on the, to be more specific.
Yes.
On the 12,
Yes, Your Honor.
are these supposed to be foreign funded?
Yes, Your Honor. All of
Were-
them. All
Huh?
of them. All of them, Your Honor.
All of them.
Yes.
And were there commitment fees paid on these 12 projects?
No, Your Honor. No. Because they did not reach that advanced stage, Your Honor.
Is that, so who,
There's no actual loan, Your Honor. So it's just
Well, no,
just a
there
plan, just a planned,
Yes.
but nothing executed, nothing contracted yet, Your Honor.
so just for the record, just so we could rely on this, we could put it on the record, there were no commitment fees paid for the loans that, or for the projects that were junked.
Yes, Your Honor. There are no loans for these projects, Your Honor.
All right. You could not, of course, you're not, of course, in a position to state, to respond insofar as the 20, insofar as the
The 16 which were
16
shelved, Your Honor.
other projects are concerned, which belong to the other
No, Your Honor.
departments.
Those are other agencies, Your Honor.
There are other agencies.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that we will be able to raise these questions, would the...
We will give you the list so you can pinpoint which agencies. I think they are either DOTR,
That's
BCDA.
correct, if you would have that,
NIA.
yes.
Yeah, it
so
is
that,
those agencies.
we can prepare for it when the period for interpretation.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you very much. So the reason for junking the 12 is that the feasibility studies did not indicate economic rate of return which can be justified.
Yes, Your Honor.
So feasibility studies were done.
Yes, Your Honor.
And how much did it cost?
No, Your Honor. Sorry, I correct myself.
And no feasibility studies were done?
Just a basic study, but not a feasibility study, Your Honor.
Okay, because there's a lot of difference. When you talk about feasibility studies, we ask about the cost of the feasibility
Right,
studies.
right,
And
yes.
it
So
could
no
be
feasibility study, Your Honor.
substantial. All right. Insofar as, from 47 out of the original 75, it became 100. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And therefore, we're saying 53 new projects were added?
Yes, Your Honor.
What are those 53 insofar as DPWH is concerned?
Of the 53, 27 belong to, of the new ones, 27 are with the DPWH, Your Honor. Would you like me to read them for the record? Or
Yes,
just give you
please.
the list, Your Honor?
Yes.
Read it into the record. Well, the first is the Panglao Tagbilaran City Offshore Connector Bridge. The second is the Integrated Disaster Risk Reduction and Climate Change Adaptation Measures in the low-lying areas of Pampanga Bay. The third is the Arterial Plaridel Bypass Road, Phase 3. The fourth is the Southeast Metro Manila Expressway C6 Phase 1. The fifth is Metro Manila Skyway Stage 3. The sixth is the NLEX-SLEX Connector Road. The seventh is the Manila-Cavite Toll Expressway Project C5 South Link Expressway. The eighth is the SLEX TR4. The ninth is the Bacolod-Negros Occidental Economic Highway. The 10th is the Boracay Circumferential Road. The 11th is the Metro Cebu Expressway. The 12th is the Samar Pacific Coastal Road. The 13th is the Sindangan Bayog Lakewood Road. The 14th is the Improving the Growth Corridors in Mindanao Road Sector Project. The 15th is the Reconstruction and Development Plan for Greater Marawi. The 16th is the Cagayan de Oro Coastal Road. The 17th is the Davao City Coastal Road, including Bucana Bridge. The 18th is the Suralia, Tibuli, San Jose Road, South Cotabato. Then we have the Metro Manila Priority Bridges Seismic Improvement Project, JICA. Emergency Assistance for Reconstruction and Recovery of Marawi. The Davao City Bypass, the Tiplex Extension, the Cavite-Tagaytay Batangas Expressway, the iconic bridge project for socio-economic development, Alcala Bridge, Pinakanawan Bridge, 2 Solana Bridge, the Cebu-Mactan Bridge and Coastal Road Construction, the Samal Island Davao City Connector Bridge, and the Bataan-Cavite Interlink Bridge, which is still for feasibility study, Your Honor. Those are the-
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but my impression of that new list of 53 is that many of these projects, insofar as pertaining to the DPWH is concerned, would be ongoing projects.
Some of them-
Just Boracay.
Yes,
It
Your
has
Honor.
been there.
Some
Huh?
of them are ongoing, Your Honor.
In other words, these are ongoing projects. In fact, some of them are nearing completion, if we are to believe our agency secretary.
Yun, no? Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Hindi naman siguro cosmetics ito, ano? Para at the end of the administration, we can claim that of the original 100 flagship projects, nabuo namin ang ganitong numero at pero sa katunayan, isinama na lang on the fourth year of this administration.
Well, these are very real projects, Your Honor, and they will be making real contributions in.
We are not
localities,
disputing
Your
that.
Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Indeed, it will.
Yes, Your
We're just saying that maybe the original 75 flagship projects were not well thought of, or so that we revised them in the middle of the stream.
That was just an initial list, Your Honor, and
Huh?
this is the revised list.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, phase, ano ito? Phase 3? Huh? Phase 3? Ano?
General na lang po sabihin natin. Bakit?
Some of, is it correct to say that some of those enumerated projects in the new list were already ongoing when the original 75 flagship projects were listed?
It's possible, Your Honor. Maybe some
It's-
were in an
yes.
early stage, yes.
In fact, for example, Phase 3 of the Skyway, it was already there when the 75 flagship projects were assembled. It was not included. Now, it is part of the 53.
The Secretary informs me that when they came in, only 8% of the right-of-way of that project had been acquired. So they pushed it along, Your Honor.
Okay. Ano pa? Meron pa ba? 1 minute suspension, sir.
Session suspended.
Just watch out for that. Alam baka ito yung mga agency na sila gumawa tapos hindi pa.
No, no. I'll finish it. Ready to resume, Mr.
Session
President.
resumed.
Mr. President, is the present DPWH still involved in the school building program? Or have you ceded this to the department?
Sorry, is the
The school
DPWH
building program.
school building?
The school building
Yes, Your
program.
Honor. Yes.
So how many classrooms have we built for the last 3 years?
The last 2 years total natin. Just add it up, oh. Add it up na lang, oh. We're talking about 18, 17, 16.
According to Secretary Panelo, it's 71,803 classrooms.
I would rather hear from Secretary Villar, who is more authoritative.
That's what I thought.
And the Senate President would agree with my statement that Secretary
Yeah.
Villar is more authoritative on this point.
Yes, of course.
Your Honor, for the years 2016 to 2018, representing a 3-year period, the department reports that they have constructed 98,051 classrooms.
Will the gentleman recheck that figure to 98,000?
That's what I have been given by the
Yeah,
department.
I
Your
hope
Honor.
that they can double check that.
What figure does Your Honor have?
I do not have that figure, but I just hope.
Can I break it down per year? So
Yes, break
Yes.
it down per year.
for 2018, it's 16,887.
16,000.
887 for
Okay.
2018, Your Honor.
Okay.
For 2017, it is
How much?
42,754 for 2017. 42754.
42754.
Yes. For 2016, it is 38,410. 38410, Your Honor.
38410. 4,112. 2016, is that the figure, 2016, sir?
38410, Your Honor.
Is 2016?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Since it is coming from the Secretary of the DPWH, I will accept that as at least a prima facie truth, but I cannot accept the source of the Senate President as...
What is the source? What is the Senate President? We will defer to the Senate President.
No, I just mentioned a tweet that I saw. And if the minority leader does not believe it, I do not believe it also.
All right. Because just for the record,
Magkaiba.
the past administration constructed 34,346 classrooms through DPWH. This is the basic education facilities, and 1,138 classrooms funded by PAGCOR, executed by DPWH, or a total of over 35,500, or almost 35,400 in the whole of 3 years. And now we are saying that for the last, since the start of this administration, over 90,000 has been done. That's 3 times, almost 3 times
Classrooms,
what
Your
was
Honor.
done in the whole of past administration. So hindi naman totoo na walang ginawa yung nakaraang administrasyon. Ano? Dahil meron ding 34,000 na silid-paaralan ang nabuo. But how did...
For the 4th time, I confirm, Your Honor.
Yes.
For the 4th time. Yeah.
We can confirm it for the rest of the day.
I will not change my answer, Your Honor.
Right. But may we know what programs were instituted by the present dispensation to be able to triple the number of classrooms built in 3 years by the past administration? The number was tripled in just 3 years of this administration. Because if we are just going to have a straight calculation, by the end of this administration, it would have constructed over 180,000 classrooms. So we would like to know and spread into the record how this was achieved.
There are a number of reforms they undertook, but also, I guess, one factor, Your Honor, is the bigger budget provided by Congress for construction. It's a much bigger budget. And second is early identification of sites.
Okay.
One is, and they no longer do the uniform costing. They take into account the peculiarities of the location, Your Honor. Like if it's an island location, if it's involves great travel, maybe in the mountain barangay. Early procurement is also one factor, Your Honor. So all of these play a role, Your Honor.
Well, as we said, we would rather give appropriate credibility to the data of the DPWH rather than the data coming from some other
From Twitter,
sources.
Your Honor, from Twitter.
In this administration. But having said that, can we have just on this, a written confirmation of this data?
Yes, Your Honor, we'll do that, Your Honor.
Because this is something that we have been missing, the efficiency in the execution of the project. And the classroom project could be one example how we were able to execute these projects efficiently, at the right cost, because as we said, if we project it for 6 years, that would be about 180,000 classrooms versus only about 35,000 or so in the past administration.
We will ask the department to comply with your requirements regarding a written communication coming from the departments, which would set forth the information you are seeking, Your Honor.
Mr. President, on the technical notes accompanying the 2020 budget,
2019.
huh? I'm sorry, the technical notes accompanying the 2019 budget from July 2016 to June of 2018, it said 22,133 classrooms were constructed. How did it suddenly go up to?
That covers a 2-year period only, Your Honor.
Yes, it covers a 2-year period, but suddenly after 3 years, this came up to about 90,000, or yeah.
Well, again, the secretary.
Just to complete it, under the 2019 technical notes to the budget prepared by the DBM, 22,133 classrooms were constructed, 1,309 textbook classrooms were being constructed. Anyway, I will not belabor this data. Just I bring out this data so that when there is already a forewarning that the data being submitted now appears to be completely different from the submitted data. But I'm willing to listen because you are not, Secretary Villar, is not the same as some other source in this government. He can be more credible than that, Mr. President.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll just await that, but I'm just
We
pointing
will ask
out.
them to submit to you because that's the secretary is saying that's what his information system
Yeah.
reflects, Your Honor.
Yes,
And there's an official here feeding him that data. So
But I assume this is also government data.
DBM, this is
Yeah.
DPWH. So
Yes.
we'll ask them to submit to you, and maybe we can ask the DBM also to submit what is
Yes.
their basis for their
Yes.
data.
Yes, okay, this is, in other words, what we are raising as an issue is how did we suddenly build 75,867 classrooms in 1 year?
Yes,
If we
the
compare-
year not included in the period
Yes.
of.
In a 2-year period, we constructed 22,100.
May we clarify, Your Honor, what is the data you're citing? Is it buildings or classrooms?
Classrooms.
Ah,
Cannot be
classrooms.
buildings.
Yes, okay.
Kasi kung buildings ito, ay di mas marami pang classroom.
Yes, yes.
So these are classrooms.
Yeah, just to make sure we're
Yes.
comparing the same thing. Your Honor.
Yes, and usually you reckon it on classrooms. So that as we said, the technical data technical notes on the 2019 budget indicated 133 classrooms, and suddenly it jumps to about over 90,000 classrooms after 1 more year. So we're talking about how were we able to construct 75,867 classrooms in a period of 1 year.
It's a valid issue, Your Honor.
We would like to have an answer
Yes,
to
we
that.
will ask them to provide the data, Your Honor.
Yeah, we will not ask for it now because it's a little difficult.
Yes, Your Honor.
Meron pa ba?
Who generates the data? DepEd? Sa'yo mismo?
I have no, I would commend the secretary if indeed we have constructed 75 classrooms, 75,000 classrooms in 1 year. That's a Herculean effort.
Oh, no, pero yung 75 is the gap between the 98 and the 22.
Okay, so we would like to receive
Yes, Your Honor, I
data in writing? Okay. So those are the issues that we wish to raise on this budget, and we would just await the written responses to some of the data that we have requested, and otherwise we will now terminate our interpretation on the DPWH budget, having established na hindi naman totoo na walang ginawa ang nakaraang administrasyon.
For the fifth time, we repeat our answer and confirm what the Minority Leader has said, Your Honor. And we thank him for his important interjections. Thank you, Your Honor.
Salamat po.
Majority Leader.
Sino ba yun, Mr. President? Sino kaya yun? Nagsasalita nun.
Best friend of the Minority Leader.
Okay. Mr. President, our Senate President Pro Temp promises to just ask questions for 2 minutes, Mr. President. May we recognize the Senate President?
Are you terminating the DPWH this morning?
He wants to ask just...
After?
Yes,
Yes,
right
after.
after. For
After,
lunch.
no more questions?
No more.
Okay.
Thank you,
President Pro
Mr.
Tem,
President.
recognized.
Just to put on the record, since the start of the budget deliberations, and we had a long discussion this morning and this afternoon with regard to disbursement issues.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, this is very important because it's the source of the growth of the economy,
Yes, Your Honor.
as mentioned earlier, no? And when we talk about disbursement, we talk about multi-year disbursement, especially so because we have an obligation budget. Is that correct?
That's correct. That was the point we made in the course of the interpellations, Your Honor. Thank you.
In fact, on the first day of the deliberations, I was telling the DBM, or when we had our discussion here, the DBM in a year manages at least
Four
four
budgets.
budgets in one single
I
year.
remember that, Your Honor. Yes.
Right? Okay. So that is probably happening also with the DPWH.
That's right, Your Honor.
Okay? And the departments are given, like in the case of the DPWH, are given a yearly, more or less, cash allocation. Ang mahalaga dito yung cash. Yun yung dinidisburse.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's what makes the economy grow, by releasing the cash for the multiplier effect in the economy.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay? Now, when we say the economy grew by 10%, that means the cash in circulation in that economy grew by 10%.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay? So halimbawa, yung disbursement rate ng DPWH. What was the disbursement rate, or rather the disbursement cash last year?
$590 billion approximately, Your Honor.
And how much is it, how much do they expect this year?
They're targeting about 700, Your Honor.
700, right? And that will show in your economic growth accounts. That construction, and that is why in the third quarter, the economy grew at a higher rate
That's right, Your Honor.
because of construction activity from the public sector.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the first 2 quarters this year, there was almost no government spending
That's right.
or lower cash disbursement than last year.
Much
at
lower,
least.
Your Honor. Much lower, yes.
And
Well,
that's
we're
why
playing
the,
catch up,
the
Your
economy
Honor.
didn't grow as much,
Yes.
right?
That's why we have to catch up, or
And
hopefully
then
we
for
catch up.
this year, nag-umpisa lang ang bidding nila ng June. Tag-ulan na. So the projects this year for sure hindi matatapos by December.
The degree of difficulty increased, Your Honor.
Correct. So next year na matatapos yan.
Malamang ho. Hindi reflected
of
ho yun
them,
sa...
right?
Yes.
Okay? So I would assume that their disbursement record today, this year, natapos na yung mga projects in 2018, karamihan yun yung binayaran ninyo. Is that correct?
Correct po. Tama
And
po.
those numbers are going up year on year.
Maganda po. There's been an improvement, I think, almost every year.
Correct.
Credit to Secretary Villar, Your Honor.
So I just wanted to put that on record so that for those who might want to understand how the economy operates and how disbursement operates, it is manifested on the record.
Yes, Your Honor. It's a little known fact, but it's very important because, in a sense, the paper figures don't represent the reality, Your Honor.
Correct. And that's why you have an economic growth. Okay?
Yes, Your
So
Honor. You have
I-
to look at the various different figures,
yeah.
despite
There-
maybe on paper it looks like a low disbursement, but there's real contribution to the economy on the ground, Your
actual
Honor.
cash,
Yes, Your Honor.
di ba?
Yes, because there's jobs being created, there's mobilization
And
of
that's why we have a
resources.
low unemployment rate.
That's right, Your
Many
Honor.
are in the construction. In fact,
The-
kulang nga ang construction
Yes, I was
workers
told in many provinces there is
at
a
kulang
shortage.
ang contractor.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Di ba?
That's correct.
So, in the beginning, nung dumami na yung pera ng gobyerno, nabuluunan ang gobyerno, nabuluunan din ang DPWH.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Now, they started hiring engineers.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yung private sector naman sumunod, nagdagdag na rin ng tao. Nagdagdag na rin ng equipment.
Yes, Your Honor, which is
And
good.
it's a continuing
It's a good
process,
effect all
right?
around, Your Honor.
Okay, now, and one last final point. For the budget next year, the fact remains, it is still lower by 95 billion as far as DPWH is concerned, or capital outlay in general, than in 2018.
Yes, you opened our eyes to that the other day, Your Honor, and I was surprised because I was expecting the growth would be would follow the same path, but apparently it has contracted somewhat, Your Honor.
Okay. And knowing that we will be extending the validity of last year's appropriation, there is which is roughly $1 trillion in authorized spending.
That's correct, Your Honor.
We could trim that down to ensure that there's sustainability in the growth of the economy.
Well, we're open to
Yes.
ideas. We have the period of amendments. We have the
Yes,
bicameral conference to improve these things.
And
Your
one
Honor.
last final item, okay? The 75 projects na flagship na maraming hindi matutuloy in the original list, nawala yun sa budget kasi hindi nga nagawa at matutuloy, right? What replaced them? Those local, small, many projects. Is that correct? So in effect, yung hindi nagastos sa flagship,
Yeah.
ginastos din natin for other projects. Is that correct?
Well, regarding those na sinabi yung tanong niyo po na ano yung natanggal, anong nag-replace ho? Yung,
No. I'm saying the
Yeah.
75 projects.
Yes, Your Honor.
Originally, mga 30 of them dapat tapos in 2 years. Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hindi nagawa. Hindi rin naman nalagay sa budget. I mean, nagkaroon ng fiscal space.
Opo. Well, hindi naman nakalagay sa budget ho yun eh. So,
Correct.
it was not budgeted to
natuloy
begin.
Correct.
Yung iba doon
And
ho.
therefore, nagkaroon ng fiscal space, and that's why you have all these small other projects. In effect.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
In effect. Because we still have to hit the 5% GDP spending on capital outlay.
Yes, Your Honor.
So on and so forth, and even ramp that up moving forward, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay? So nothing was lost as far as spending is concerned.
Well, as far as the productive capacity and the meeting the ratios, hindi naman ho.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. With that, I end my interpellation. Just those manifestations. Thank you for your
Thank you very
responses.
much,
And thank you
again.
to the Senate President. Thank you.
Senate President Pro Tempore for sharing
Majority Leader.
these new ideas,
Thank you, Mr.
which
President.
it is important that people understand that, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Although he reached 7 minutes, not just 2 minutes. But it is our Senate President Pro Temp, and he is our
It's the resident economist. Your
resident economist, School of Recto. Mr. President,
Honor. The third house. The third house.
Mr. President, with that, no other member wishes to interpolate the measure of, the budget of the Department of Public Works and Highways. Therefore, I move, Mr. President, that the budget of the Department of Public Works and Highways, Office of the Secretary, together with its attached agencies and local water utilities administration, is hereby deemed submitted and approved.
Any objection?
Thank you. We thank
Hearing
our
none.
we thank our colleagues, Your Honor.
DPWH budget and the agencies are deemed submitted. Tama na ngayon.
Submitted, Mr.
Tama na,
President.
tama na ngayon.
Paano maganda pa?
Deemed submitted.
Happy sila. May we ask for, Mr. President, with that, I move to
until-
suspend
Until
the session until 2:30, Mr. President, para makakain naman tayo and meet with some people, if it's all right with the body. Because it's already almost 1 o'clock.
right.
2:30 in the afternoon, Mr. President.
all right. Session is suspended until 2:30 this afternoon.